Have you ever noticed how silence feels heavier when no one's around? The kind of quiet that creeps in late at night, reminding you how alone you really are? It feels like a punishment at first, like the world locked you out and you're left standing in the cold, shivering, wondering what you did wrong. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. You were never locked out. You were always on your own. People just made you believe you needed them. Alone isn't a curse. It's clarity. It's where you find the version of yourself that doesn't rely on approval, company, or validation. It's where you learn that survival isn't about being loved by others. It's about learning to live well with only yourself. But that's the hardest battle you'll ever fight. You've been lied to. Movies, social media, your so-called friends, they all told you that your life would be better if someone stood beside you. That without people, you'd be nothing. They said, find your tribe, be loved, you're stronger together. And maybe you bought into that lie for a while. You waited, you gave, hoping someone would give back. But when you needed them most, all you got was their silence. That silence hurts, doesn't it? Like a betrayal. It stings worse than a knife in the back. Because you didn't just lose others, you lost faith. You were standing there, hoping that someone, anyone, would come save you. But no one did. And now here you are, alone, abandoned by the world you once trusted. But here's what they never told you. No one's coming. No one is going to fight your battles for you. No one's going to care more about your life than you do. And that's okay. The moment you stop waiting for people to fix you is the moment you start learning to live. Because the truth is, you've been carrying yourself this whole time. All those late nights when you thought you were drowning in your own thoughts, that was you, keeping your head above water. Every time the world shut the door in your face, you stayed standing. And now you're still here. You didn't break. Stop chasing. Stop begging for people to understand you. Stop looking for approval from a world that doesn't even see you. You've been running after people your whole life, thinking if you run fast enough, they'll notice. But listen to me. You're not a burden for walking alone. You don't owe anyone your energy just to feel like you matter. Your worth isn't tied to someone else's attention. Living well with only yourself means accepting that no one owes you anything. It means looking in the mirror and realizing that the only person responsible for saving you is the one staring back at you. At first, it'll feel like everything is slipping away. Your friends, your social life, maybe even parts of your identity. But that's just the storm before the calm. When you strip away the noise, the distractions, and the people who were only there out of convenience, what's left is the real you. And that version of you? It's stronger than you ever imagined. You'll start to realize that the people who left were the ones weighing you down. Their absence isn't a loss. It's freedom. You'll see that your thoughts, though loud, are your own. Your time, though quiet, is precious. And your energy, though limited, belongs to no one but you. This is where true strength is built. Not in crowds, not in friendships, but in the stillness of your own company. It's in the mornings when no one texts, "Good morning," but you get up anyway. It's in the nights when your phone is silent, but you find peace in the quiet. It's in the moment when you realize that you don't need anyone else to be whole. But make no mistake, living with only yourself comes with a price. The world isn't kind to those who walk alone. They'll call you cold. They'll say you're distant or too independent. They'll wonder why you don't need what everyone else seems to crave. That's the thing about people. They fear what they don't understand. And what they don't understand is how someone can find strength in solitude. How someone can build a life with no one's help and still walk tall. They'll resent you for it. They'll try to shame you into coming back. But you won't. Because once you taste the peace of self-reliance, there's no going back. Living well with only yourself means knowing that you will be misunderstood. It means accepting that loneliness will come and go, but you will remain steady. And that's okay. Because the world doesn't reward the ones who cling to crowds, it rewards the ones who learn to stand alone. This life is yours now. Every decision, every step, every victory, it's all in your hands. No one else gets to dictate how you live. No one else gets to decide what makes you happy. There's no more asking for permission, no more waiting for validation. You are free to build a life that looks like you, not a version that pleases others. This is my life, and I will live it well. Here's the part people don't tell you. You won't always feel strong. Some nights will feel unbearable. You'll question yourself, wonder if walking alone was a mistake. But strength isn't about never doubting. It's about moving forward, even with doubt in your heart. And you will move forward, day by day, moment by moment. Until one day you'll realize that you no longer crave the things you used to. The fear of being alone will fade. The ache for approval will disappear. And all that will remain is a quiet kind of peace, the kind that comes from knowing that you are enough, just as you are. You are not incomplete just because you stand alone. You are whole, exactly as you are. This world will tell you that you need more friends, more connections, more love from others. But all you really need is you. Everything else is optional. Living well with only yourself means trusting that you are enough. It means finding joy in your own company, comfort in your own presence, and strength in your own resilience. It means knowing that while the world may come and go, you will remain standing. Always. One of the hardest things about living well with only yourself is letting go. Letting go of the life you thought you'd have. You'll replay moments in your head, wondering if things could have been different, if someone had stayed, if a friendship hadn't fallen apart, if the world had treated you just a little kinder. But clinging to what-ifs will only hold you back. The truth? It happened exactly the way it was supposed to. The people who left, the relationships that ended, the silence that filled the space, they weren't accidents. They were lessons. Each one stripped away a piece of your old self, the one that relied on others for happiness. And what's left now is the version of you that can stand on your own, unbreakable, even in the face of loss. Letting go means accepting that not everything was meant to last, and that's okay. Some people were meant to leave, so you could finally become who you were meant to be. There will be nights when loneliness creeps in, whispering lies in your ear. It will tell you that you're missing out, that everyone else is out there living, laughing, loving, and you're stuck here, alone. But loneliness lies, because the people you envy, most of them are drowning in fake smiles and shallow connections, terrified of facing themselves in silence. You've chosen freedom instead. You've chosen to confront the quiet. And that's a battle most people are too afraid to fight. Living well with only yourself doesn't mean you'll never feel lonely. It means you won't fear it anymore. You'll learn that loneliness isn't a curse, it's a companion. It's the space where you meet yourself and realize that your company is enough. And when you stop fearing loneliness, you become unstoppable. The truth is, pain changes you. Every betrayal, every rejection, every lonely night, those scars shape you into something new. And if you let it, that pain will become your power. Pain is a teacher. It strips away the illusions you once held about life and people. It makes you sharper, tougher, smarter. But more importantly, it shows you what matters and what doesn't. And the moment you understand that, you become dangerous, because nothing can break someone who's already learned to survive on their own. Use that pain. Channel it. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you that while the world may have tried to tear you down, you're still standing. And standing alone doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're stronger than most. Because you faced the storm. And you didn't break. They tried to hurt you. But all they did was teach you how to live without them. Once you learn to live well with only yourself, you'll realize something crucial. Your peace is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. People will try to re-enter your life. Some will come back because they miss the old version of you, the one who gave without limits, who tolerated their disrespect just to feel connected. But that version of you is gone. You've grown. You've learned that you don't owe anyone access to your energy. And protecting your peace means saying no, even to the ones who once felt like home. you'll find that peace isn't loud. It doesn't need to announce itself or beg for attention. It's quiet, steady, and constant. And once you've tasted that kind of peace, you'll guard it with everything you have. Not everyone will understand it. Some will call you selfish for choosing yourself. But that's okay. Their approval is no longer your concern. Living well with only yourself means knowing that peace isn't something others give you. It's something you create, and something you protect. When you live well with only yourself, the future becomes yours to shape. You're no longer bound by the expectations of others. You don't have to fit into their timelines, follow their rules, or meet their standards. Your path is your own. This is where the real magic happens, when you realize that every day is a new chance to become whoever you want to be. There are no limits, no one to hold you back, no one to tell you what's possible or impossible. You are free, completely, utterly free. And that kind of freedom, it's terrifying at first. The world won't tell you what to do next. No one will hand you a map or guide you. But that's the beauty of it. You get to decide. The life you want, it's yours to create. It's not going to be easy. Some days you'll feel lost. Other days you'll feel like giving up. But remember this. You've already survived the hardest part, standing alone. Everything else from here on, it's yours for the taking. There's no one left to hold you back, no one left to rely on. It's just you now, and that's enough. This is your life. And you're going to live it well, with only yourself. So here you are, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. You didn't need anyone to make it this far, and you won't need anyone to keep going. This life is yours to live, on your terms, with no compromises. You are enough. And when the world asks, how did you do it alone? You'll smile, and you'll say, I lived well with only myself. That's all, I'm out. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time.